Disney just had its Q1 earnings call, and during that, they were talking about the Disney Plus platform and what their future for that holds. And right now, it's actually looking like things aren't as good as what they appear. And with the goal of actually being profitable by Q4 of this year, it's looking like they may not actually reach that unless they make some drastic changes or some luck is on their side. We got this article from Variety talking about it. Disney Plus drops 1.3 million subscribers amid price hikes. Streaming loss shrinks by $300 million. So you know things aren't looking too good when one of the things that they have to brag about is that they're not losing as much money as what they used to. But let's continue with the article. Disney Plus lost 1.3 million subscribers in the final quarter of 2023 amid a hefty price hike that went into effect last fall, but managed to narrow its streaming business losses by $300 million during the October through December period. With that 1.3 million subscriber loss, that makes this the fourth quarter out of the last 5 quarters where Disney Plus reported negative growth on the Disney Plus platform. Q4 of last year, which was a period that ended September 20th, was the last time that they were actually reporting positive growth. But that's also a little bit deceptive too, because at the time frame they're running a sale on Disney Plus platform where you can get 3 months of it for only $1.99 a month for new and returning subscribers to it. And coincidentally, I guess, this was a sale that ended September 20th. Myself and a lot of other people were saying at the time frame that this is a pretty transparent attempt by Disney Plus to try to bolster their numbers on the Disney Plus platform in order to not have 4 quarters in a row where they're reporting negative growth on the platform. Apparently that gambit worked and they're actually able to report a positive growth on the Disney Plus platform. If that never actually happened though, then right now we'd probably be talking about 5 quarters in a row of negative subscriber growth for them. Disney is trying to spin this in a positive manner by saying that they narrowed their business losses by $300 million. Keep in mind, that's not saying $300 million is all they lost on it. It's just that's how much they reduced their loss from it. A lot of that could be attributed to them raising the prices on subscriptions for existing users on that. But also the strikes that were going on in Hollywood last year caused a ripple effect that delayed a bunch of productions. So a lot of this $300 million that they narrowed it by could be attributed to things not being in production at the time frame. But of course, when you consider how much they actually spend on the Disney Plus platform a year, which according to a Deadline article from back in 2020, they spent $14 to $16 billion a year on the Disney Plus platform by 2024. So when you think about them just reducing it by $300 million, that's just kind of a drop in the bucket, which isn't a good sign for the company when they were stated by Bob Iger that they were going to be profitable by 2024. And it's looking like that may not actually be the case. According to Disney, the company is on track to reach profitability in its streaming business by the end of the current fiscal year, with the above mentioned $300 million narrowing in losses in Q1 versus Q4. I got these business statistics pulled up for the Disney Plus platform, and if you scroll down, you can see the annual revenue. And in 2023, they made $8.4 billion on the Disney Plus platform. But keep in mind that Deadline article where they said they're going to be spending $14 to $16 billion a year on Disney Plus. So if you subtract the $8.4 billion that they made in 2023 by the conservative estimate of only $14 billion that they're spending by the year 2024, then that means they're still down $5.6 billion on the Disney Plus platform in the fiscal year of 2023 alone. So them saying that they only shrunk the deficit by $300 million is obviously a good thing for Disney, but it's still not a good thing as a whole, especially if they're going to try to maintain their goal of reaching profitability by Q4 of this year, because it's really looking like that's not going to be the case unless they make some more drastic measures. They've already started raising the prices on their ad-free version. I think they're going to continue to do that in order to try to drive more traffic to their ad-supported version because they make more money that way. But another measure they're trying to do in order to gain subscriber growth is to actually crack down on password sharing. I have this article pulled up from Deadline talking about it because this is something that they also announced at the Q1 earnings call. Disney this summer will roll out a password sharing plan on its Disney Plus streaming flagship that CEO Bob Iger says was directly influenced by Netflix's successful initiative last year. When Netflix started cracking down on password sharing last year, they would monitor IP addresses to make sure that one account wasn't being logged into from multiple locations. Otherwise, that suggests that someone is sharing the password. Now, for an additional fee, you're allowed to actually share that password with another household, but there were still limits on how many passwords can be shared from one account. And if it actually exceeds that, well, then those other people have to get their own account. And for the most part, this did help increase subscribers for Netflix because if someone was to actually share their password with another user, that costs $7.99 a month to add them to their account. And there was also a limit on how many can be added to one account. Versus if that person was just to start their own account, then that's $6.99 a month. both of these packages too would also be the ad supported tier. So the new user was kind of happy. They're like, well, at least I'm paying less than if I was just to be using someone else's password. And Netflix is happy because it drives traffic to their ad supported tier, which actually makes more money for them. If Disney was smart, they would emulate this model and provide some type of a discount so that it would actually give people an incentive to start their own account. And then maybe they would actually see some positive subscriber growth in the quarters following the rollout of this new policy. Naturally, a lot of users are upset by the crackdown on password sharing, especially since Disney made statements in the past basically suggesting that they didn't care about password sharing. So a lot of people feel like that they're just kind of going back on their promise. But I think Disney understands their customer base and knows that they might grumble and get mad, but then they'll just ultimately just submit to Disney because, that's just kind of what diehard fans will do. They'll just submit even if they don't want to. And Disney knows this. And I think as time goes on, we'll see more and more price increases for the Disney Plus platform because Disney needs a lot more money from the Disney Plus platform in order to be profitable. I still don't think that they're actually going to be profitability by the end of this year, but they still maintain that that's their goal. So let's just see what that happens. But it's just a matter of how much they can actually do to their audience before they say enough is enough. And I don't think they're quite there yet, but I think it's going to happen sooner than Disney thinks.